There you go. About to put you on mute real quick. Just give me 1 second.
All right. This thing here.
Hey, all you gorgeous people. We'll be starting here shortly. Okay, y'all. So something is up with um I can't even think. Something is up with Arsenia's computer. I don't even know how I'm looking. Oh, okay, not that bad. Y'all excuse the hair wrap. I just have to have my hair wrapped today. Um Arsenia's coming on in a second. We're just waiting for her. She was on and then she got off. Okay. No, I can't see her. Oh, there you go. Hold on, you guys. I can see you now. All right, I can see you now.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yay! Hold on, give me a second. I'm going on the whatchamadoodle
Okay.
to make sure I copy the link. Motherfucker. Hey guys, we're talking about spirituality. We're not gonna do readings. I hope. Did you already say that already? I don't know. I'm late to the party.
Yeah.
What's that song? Don't be tardy for the party.
We're both tardy because I was sitting here for a second, sending this message out.
All right, let's see.
All right. How you guys? Ha ha ha. What are y'all talking about on here? New computer. So tonight, guys, hello, hello, hello. We're talking spiritual talk because we missed it yesterday. Everything is all good. Everything was all good. We just had to take care of some business, some serious shit.
Right. So don't be thinking the worst. We just had to take care of some business. That's it. All right. So All right.
Did you share to Facebook?
I did. That's what I was doing.
When we get off of here, I gotta tell you something, girl. What I just did. God damn.
Why is it doing that?
That's cheating.
What was my computer so fuzzy and stuff? All right. I'm sending people the wrong shit.
Get it together.
I'm getting it. All right. So thank you guys for joining. Why don't you guys hit those shares? Like, it's 9 people. Come on. Hit the share. Go to Facebook, hit that share. So go ahead and invite. So we're going to talk about spirituality. So we're going to answer the questions you have about spirituality. We're going to talk about what spirituality really is. We're going to talk about spiritual trends. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. So we ain't really had nothing prepared. So we're going to be all over the place. So we might as well just call this a Q&A. Spirituality Q&A.
Shante, she said she's been singing Brown Skin Girl.
Oh God, no. No. Look, every time I get on the phone with her, she is singing this song. Every time I get on the phone with her, she's singing this goddamn song.
Hey, Renita.
So for those of you who don't know, I am Goddess Cena. I am a psychic medium. I offer many services to help you have an intuitive insight to your finances, your love life, your family, your fertility, your money, your career, your soul purpose, your spiritual gifts. If you have an answer where you think you need a spiritual insight or you need to talk to an ancestor, angel, or spirit guide, I can help you with those services. I'm also a mindset coach. I help you reset your mindset to prosperity and abundance. I specialize in helping entrepreneurs become successful by changing their mindset. I also help people develop spiritual gifts. If you have, everybody has spiritual gifts, but if you know you have particular spiritual gifts that you want to develop, I help you develop them. I teach you spell work. I teach you things in the occult and all that other shit. If you want more information, our links are in the description, or if you go to the page, you'll see the links to our website. My website is www.cosmicgoddesslifestyle. It's cosmic with a Z, .org, and you'll be able to find all the information about me and the services that I offer as well.
And I am your lifestylist, Kay, and I help women dig through their past childhood trauma, their BS, so they can live life with confidence and love and all this great stuff so you can win, because we are winning, period.
Yes.
Now, I want to make this disclaimer, okay? Because my readings and coaching are different. Coaching is an investment in yourself. So if you're ready to make the investment, check me out. Let's have a breakthrough call and we can go from there. Readings are also on my page. You can find them. That's not a big investment. So before we set up anything, make sure you're saying, you know what? I need to invest in myself. I need to heal. So if that's what you want to do, hit your girl up. But anyway, so I also do, readings and all that great stuff, as well as we're here now tonight speaking on spiritual stuff. But you can find me on YouTube at Uniquely Hooked and Facebook at Uniquely Hooked. You can find all of my links there. And off of Instagram, you can go to _YourLifestylist.
Right. Also, I want to kind of say, we are going to be doing something for the new moon. that will be coming out like probably tomorrow morning. If you want to join us for the ritual for the new moon, we will be doing something for the new moon. Also, tomorrow is the last day for my raffle. I'm offering 10 spots for 10 people to be able to have 10 coaching sessions with me. So if you want a chance to win one of 10 spots to have 10 coaching sessions with me, I will be putting the link somewhere at some time if you want to be able to raffle out to see if you have a chance to win one of the spots to have 10 coaching sessions with me. And that ends tomorrow. So tomorrow is definitely the last day, last time you have. After that, then I will announce the winners. All right. So what are we going to talk about first? Anybody have any questions about spirituality?
Yes, Ella said, what's the difference between the spirit and the soul?
All right, so the spirit and the soul. We have many spirits and one soul. The soul is the thing that keeps you living. You can live without a soul. I mean, you can live without spirits, but you can't live without your soul. Your spirits is basically your chakra system, to kind of break it down. That is the part of you that is the spirit of happiness, the joy. Those are those different moods that you have. So your spirits, one of your spirit can leave your body while your soul stays in your body. That's what keeps you alive. The soul is the breath of God. That is what keeps us connected to God. It is when God created man, he breathed life into us.
And your spirit is what connects you to like your emotional being.
Right. And I think I just missaid something. I think I just said that without your soul, you can't live, but that's a lie, because there's a lot of people who are walking around without a soul. So there are people who have a bunch of spirits, and then there's people who have a soul and spirits, and humans have a soul and spirits. The person without a soul lacks empathy, lacks lack a lot. Like, you ever met somebody that was callous and mean and like shit? What words can I use to describe it? Shit. But the difference between a soul, your spirit is a plasmic energy. Your soul is a astral energy. But there is a difference between the two. It says I went out. My bad. Did I go? What did I go? Did I go at?
No, that's Aquetta. She's telling she went out.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Oh no, she said you. Okay.
Oh,
No,
I went out. Okay, so I guess I need to say it again.
No, I mean I heard her. I don't know. Did anybody else not hear?
So your soul is a astral energy that is connected directly to source. That is the breath of God that you have. The spirit is the spirits that you have. They're directly linked to your chakra centers. You have the spirit of love. You have the spirit of joy, happiness, laughter, sadness. Only spirit that you naturally don't have is fear. But you have several.
Also in the Bible, what is it, 7 or 12 spirits, like the spirit of such and such, the spirit of like that's also, it tells you in the Bible what type of spirit you have. So that's how you can kind of gauge, once it's broken down, the difference between a soul and a spirit. You realize your spirit is dimensional.
Right, because your spirit, so if you know anything about Kabbalah, the tree of life, you know how the 12 tree of lives, where the hell is my whiteboard when I need that shit? I got a gold marker right here. Hold on, let me give you an example to kind of help you visualize what it is, because some people are like, I don't know what that is. Hold on. I ain't got time to pull my whiteboard out. But so just to kind of give you an example of what the Kabbalah tree looks like, because that's basically what your spirit is. So it's this, 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 this. So it looks like almost like this. If you guys ever seen the Kabbalah tree, it looks like this. The sacred geometry of what it is, this is what the Kabbalah tree looks like. And that's the way your spirits are. Like, that's what your spirits are. Your chakra system, your crown, your third eye, your throat chakra, your heart chakra. All of these are your spirits. They're spirits. They're also portals, but your spirits rule over them. They're the gatekeepers because you have what's called gates that lead into these things. And the gatekeeper of your spirit is the one that watches it. So your third eye chakra is the thing that actually astral travels and comes back down through your crown chakra. But there's a difference between your soul and your spirit. And your soul is different. Your spirit is plasmic energy, which is linked to the ether, but your soul is linked to the astral plane. There are different planes that we have. We don't just have, we have the material plane, the etheric plane. It's the 5D, 3D, 2D. When you hear people say the 3D, when we live in a 3D, and you're like, what the fuck does that really mean? Those are the different dimensions. Those are the different dimensions that we actually live in. And so it's the physical plane, the ethereal plane, the etheric plane, the cosmic plane, and then finally the astral plane. And our astral plane is where our soul is, and where our spirit is the etheric plane. So when you hear somebody say, I went to the ethers, they went to the plane that's between the astral and the physical plane. And that's how I think that's a little bit too much. That's like a whole lesson on its own.
What examples can you give as far as using crystals and stones and actually how they work for us?
Okay, so crystals are living beings. Everything's living. Everything has a soul. Everything has a soul. Not everything has a spirit. Everything has a spirit. Not everything has a soul. So anything with a spirit, the trees have a spirit, your walls have a spirit, dirt has a spirit, everything, hell, this board, this pen, everything has a spirit. Where the hell is my top? Because who ain't got time for this shit to dry out? Oh, duh. Everything has a spirit. So crystals are no different than anything else that houses spirit. So what it's designed to do is exactly what you want it to do. Although they have vibrational frequencies of what they naturally do, but what they're designed to do is exactly what you want them to do. Whatever you desire them to do is what they'll do. So what you want to do is, let me get my crystal, because for some reason I need to get materials today.
Black tourmaline, if you look up different crystals, they'll tell you what their uses are for. And some crystals have most crystals have multiple uses. A lot of people utilize the rose quartz for self-love and all of that great stuff because that's what it's great for. A lot of people use mostly black crystals to absorb negative energy and things like that. I know for me, amethyst, which is a very great crystal,
Mhm.
And that's one of the ones that I used it's used to really help with anxiety, and it also allowed me to have dreams. It's very powerful if you put it under your pillow to have very vivid dreams. And I'm telling you, you people will have the deepest dreams, and they'll be real life. And they will look more like
I can see that.
yeah, they're purplish color. Some of them can be different colors, but the main color of it is like a lavender color. But it's like I can't even think of the name. It's on the top of my head. I know I've had dreams, and it's told with the amethyst under my pillow, and it's told me my
right, because you get lucid dreams. It makes you lucid dream.
Right. And if you ask a specific question too, it gives you the answer.
Mm-hmm.
So crystals are here to help us, enhance our energy and our power and all of these things. And it's also here to help stop certain things from reaching us and, dealing with, all of that thing is it can clear. I know the, what's the white crystal?
The quartz crystal or the selenite?
The selenite. The selenite is really good for absorbing energy in the room and all of that good stuff. I know I have 1, 2, 3. I probably have 4 or 5 of them throughout the house. I have amethyst throughout the house too, and black, either tourmaline or what's the other? Obsidian.
Obsidian, yeah.
So I have that throughout the house just to kind of keep that energy flow. When people come over, I have actually black tourmaline right in front of my door on the table. So it absorbs that bullshit ass energy. So people that I don't want to come to my house, don't fucking come to my house.
Mm-hmm.
So crystals have a lot of properties, and there's so many different crystals out there that there's just not, don't just let people tell you, oh, well, you can't use that for that. I mean, crystals they do what you tell them to do.
Mm-hmm.
You nurture them, you love on them. I have a bunch of them downstairs, but go ahead. Really
quick on how a lot of people so first of all, you always want to clean your crystal. You always want to clean it. Some you cannot use water on it, but I recommend salt and water. If you feel some crystals, you can't use salt and water because they'll deteriorate, but if you just rinse them, they should be fine. But salt and water, consecrate them, bless them, put your intention. So what you want to do is you want to build your energy up. For those of you who are in my group, I've taught you guys how to activate your biofield in your body. And you're going to basically activate your energy in your body. You're going to rub your hands together, breathe, feel the energy within you. And then you're going to place that inside of the crystal. Once you place the energy inside of the crystal, you're going to tell the crystal what it's going to do. You are going to protect, or you're going to bring me luck, or your job is to bring me, not you're going to, you're bringing me luck on a daily basis. You are protecting me on a daily basis, whether I am paying attention or not. Selenite is really good. They really don't need to be charged. You charge them under the moon, or you can charge them in the sun. They do need to be charged.
You can bury them too. You can bury them in the earth as well.
And charge them with the earth. Amethyst. So the thing with amethyst and rose quartz, so when they're done, when the energy is gone, they'll get lighter. Like the purple in the amethyst will fade. When it starts to fade, it's time to change the crystal. When you're not ready for the crystal, you'll lose it. When you're not ready for the crystal, you will lose your crystals. So if you're like, dang, I have my crystal, where'd it go? They leave when you're not ready for them. Now, when you get ready for them, they'll come back. But you definitely got to talk to them. You got to treat them like a person. You got to thank them for their job. Understand when the rose quartz, the amethyst, and some other one too, when they begin to fade and the color is no longer there, the energy is gone. So it's time for you to change your crystal out when it starts to fade. The only ones that don't fade, of course, are of course, this is pyrite. I use pyrite for luck. And then I use quartz crystal for enhancing everything that I do. And then selenite, I use this shit for everything. Like this is the get shit done crystal. Like I keep this with me at all times, everywhere that I fucking go, because it's such a fucking awesome crystal that it doesn't need charging. It protects, it wards off, it absorbs, it charges other crystals. It's really, really good at what it does. So when it comes to crystals, all you have to do is put your intent in them, clean them, charge them, put your intent, take care of them, and then that's that.
The different ways you can get energy from a crystal is by sleeping with them, carrying them in your bra. I like to carry them in my bra. If you're doing sit them out. Like I said, once they're charged, sit them out. They don't actually have to be on your person, but they can be out in the room where you are. They're naturally going to give off whatever the energy that you desire, no matter where it is. So they could be in your purse, and maybe you might feel. I know with the amethyst, like the amethyst is a badass, because that helped me with a lot of anxiety that I was having.
Mm-hmm.
Like anxiety, where at night I was literally gritting my teeth because I had so much anxiety. But I used to carry that on my person every day until it just absorbed it to the point where I don't get too much anxiety unless there's something big that has to happen or I need to do. It might come, but other than that, I'm good with it. I haven't slept with a crystal in a while, actually, but there are in my room. They don't have. They are around the house, so I don't have to just. I carry some in my purse, but crystals are great. I know I did lose one, a very precious one. I'm like, damn, like why you leave me? But I get them back.
All right, thank you guys for joining us. We're doing spiritual talk more like a Q&A. So we didn't have anything particularly planned. So if you have questions about spirituality, you're more than welcome to ask. You can talk about spirituality, what it is, our journey in spirituality, how to resolve certain things, your experience leaving Christianity or religion to come into spirituality. You're more than welcome to ask questions. So we're not doing readings tonight. We're just doing spiritual questions. So whatever questions you guys have, you're more than welcome to ask.
Yeah. And I just wanted to make it clear, a lot of times what happens is that I want to speak on readings a little bit because that's spiritual and that's part of spiritual talk. A lot of times we'll want to know a thing and we'll keep coming back for our readings, but not putting anything into play. And readings are great because I think they allow you the opportunity to look forward to some things, change some things, but everything requires you to take action. And some things, and don't get it wrong, actions can also be doing nothing because some people are just doing too much and need to do nothing.
Right.
So a lot of times we want to know, what's my, what's this? Why am I here? What is this? What's my spiritual gifts? Like you haven't even. A lot of people aren't even, and like the one lady who's like, well, I didn't get my money I said I was going to get. And it's like, well, in reality, you have to understand we create ultimately our life, right? We're creators of our life. We're co-creating with the Most High. And a lot of us are jumping into the spiritual thing. And because we're like, oh yeah, let me try this or let me try that. And we don't fully get ourselves. We're not doing our soul searching. We're just, well, this works for now, so I'll just try this.
Right.
And really, you're missing out on so much because a lot of us are just on the surface of a thing and we're not digging deep enough to even grasp the understanding of what's really fucking going on with ourselves, not outside of us, but within ourselves. We're so worried about Trump, we don't even understand the fact that we're putting more energy into that mofo than you are your own self. So we have to remember that we come first, period. To save yourself. Jesus is not saving, he saved himself. Shit. He saved his fucking self, just like you need to.
Right. So Ebonic asks, can anybody do tarot readings or is it a spiritual gift? Anybody can do tarot. Tarot cards are a tool. You don't, it doesn't even have to be tarot cards. Hell, it can be a deck of playing cards. It's all about your intentions, honey. Can anybody do tarot card? Yeah, they all have like a bunch of general ass meanings that you can fucking Google. You can go Google the meaning of a tarot card. If your intention is to get an answer, because of you're already a spiritual being, whether you're aware of it or not, you're always going to get the answer. The cards are always going to apply to your situation, always apply to your situation. So anybody can learn them, but the difference is, it's like, for example, I use tarot cards, but the better I improved on my gifts, the way I use tarot cards are not the same as what the meanings of the card is. So if I was to pull a card and you look that card up and you'd be like, that's not what that card means. You told me something different. Well, because I use tarot cards to scry. And scrying is basically looking past the picture or focus to reach to the other side of the realm to get the message that I need. So I use fire to scry. I use a mirror to scry. I've even just learned how to use incense to scry, to use smoke. So scrying is basically a form of pulling information out without like it being the information of what it is. Because cards hold energy. Everything has frequency. And being a spiritualist, it takes a lot of fucking energy to do what we do. Look, if y'all know me, I am never on time. I'm never on time because sometimes it takes me a minute to, if I had a call that was a lot, that's taxing on my body. Like reading for you is pulling my energy out. Like I literally like, sometimes I got to eat a fucking lot just to be able to recruit the energy that I just used because I'm depleted of energy. Like allowing a spiritual being to come in and put information to get downloads is a lot of energy. It's not as easy as black and white. It's one of those, it takes energy. It takes energy. It takes a lot of fucking energy to do this. Like, this shit ain't easy. This is not like, hey, you all you did is a tarot card. I'm not just a tarot card reader. I don't need the cards. I don't really need the cards. I used to, but I don't need the cards to be able to tell you. But I use that shit because that shit is fucking energetically, it's tiring as fuck. But anybody, the answer to your question, anybody can. Hell, a 5-year-old could use fucking tarot cards. Hell, a 5-year-old does use tarot cards.
Yep.
All right. So Megan Martinez is asking, once you dropped your tourmaline and it chips, there's a difference between if it chips and if it breaks. Sometimes crystal will crack, and if it cracks on its own, then that means there's too much energy around it. What your intent is, either you're around something that has a lot of energy and it had to break, or somebody is sending you something so much that it had to break that shit off. It all depends. If you drop it and it breaks, that's because, of course, you dropped the shit and it broke. That's common sense. It's more of a law of physics. With force and the amount of force that you have on it, of course, it's going to break. But if it does it in an unnatural situation to where it like if you have a pendulum and the pendulum disconnects, that's because there's too much energy. If you have the crystal and it just breaks apart, that's because either something was sent to you and it had to break it apart, or you're in an area where it's too much energy that it can't take it. So it all depends on what it is. But if you dropped it and it just chipped, it's fine. Look, I didn't drop this sucker so damn much. I don't know if you guys can see that. but I dropped it so much that it's chipped in half. But I still use it, and it works it works fucking great. All right, who's next question? Who has the next question? So thank you guys for joining us. We're doing spiritual talk. If you have spiritual questions about spirituality, you are more than welcome to ask whatever question it is that you have. Normally we have kind of like something that we talk about, but tonight we're just going to kind of Q&A it, like answer your questions. So it's going to get a little random. So whatever questions you have about spirituality, if you want to know how was it, leaving the church, or things as far as how to do certain things, how to develop your gifts. Hell, I don't fucking know. Whatever questions you have spiritually, we will answer your question. So if you got a question, we'll answer it. Hell, if you want to know how to cut a chicken open, we'll tell you how to cut a chicken open. Hey, Miss Jazz. Let's see who's on here. Let's see who's on here. If you guys haven't already, I put the link on my Facebook. For those of you who follow me on Facebook, I put the link on Facebook, and all you got to do is go to Facebook and share. Share. Let me see who's on here. Hey, Miss Keisha. Hey, Nicole. Hey, Miss Aquetta. Hey, Nikki. Nick. Yes. Hey, Miss Alice. Hey, Nicole. Hey, Catherine. Shonda. Who else is on here? If I miss you, that's because I can't read and I went to public school. Hey, Miss Luna. Yes. Who else is on here? Hey, Megan. Hey, Empress. Hey, Taquet. Damn it. Tanika. Shit, what the hell is wrong with me? Tanika Horn. Jamaica Price. Hey, guys. I'm saying hi to all you guys that I can see.
Keitha.
All right. So Jazz Williams wants to know, how do you know you have spiritual gifts? All right. So mostly everybody, not everybody, because I don't want to perpetuate everybody has gifts, because there's some motherfuckers walking around here, they ain't got no gifts at all. But mostly everybody has gifts. There is a difference between intuition and instinct. They're two different things. Your instinct is all about protecting yourself. Like every creature, every plant has an instinct, and the instinct is to protect itself. This is the reason why animals have like poison, skunks have that shit that they spray. Our instinct naturally protects us. If somebody throws a fist at you, your natural protection is either you're going to back up or you're going to swing. Everybody has an instinct. Intuition is different. Intuition gives you insight to a situation. Everybody has intuition. Now, how that kind of converts over to psychic gifts, clairvoyance, clairaudience, there's a difference between all that. So when you know that you have the gift of knowing you'll know stuff without having to ever study it. You'll have information that you should never really have. You'll be in the presence of somebody and know things about them without even knowing it. That's the gift of knowing. The gift of seeing is, a lot of times we mix the gift of seeing up with daydreaming. And sometimes we see things in our daydreams before they happen. And it's almost exactly how you saw it. How you daydream is exactly how you saw it. That is the gift of seeing. Sometimes you have this gift of seeing while you're asleep. Sometimes you do it when you're awake. You know that you have the gift of clairaudience when you hear voices. You'll hear music, you'll hear static, you'll hear that beep, or you'll hear kind of like a pulse, like static, like psh. So the beep, those are normally beings that are at a higher frequency, which most likely they're an angel. And then the shh, those are actual spirits. If you like hear your name being called and you know ain't nobody fucking called you, you'll hear laughter. When you get on the phone, the static will come in and then you'll hear a bunch of people talking. All of these are signs of you having gifts. If your hands get hot, the middle of your hands get hot. When you're dreaming, sometimes you feel like you have paralysis. Sometimes that's a clear indication. If you get sleep paralysis, that's a clear indication that you have some form of a gift. Let's see. When you smell things, it prompts memories of things that you can't remember or things that don't belong to you. There are multiple ways, like even being an empath. If you'll know you're an empath, shit, about to choke. I need some water. Hold on. Jesus. I know. You know you're an empath by when you can feel the emotions of others on a physical level. Like you'll be good, happy, and then all of a sudden you'll get sad or mad. And that's when you're in the presence of other people or you touch certain things. You can be around a crowd of people and you just instantly feel drained. You'll go to like a concert or a restaurant and then you'll be like, it's time to go. I can't. It's time to go. I'm tired. It's ready. I'm ready to go because you done picked up all the energies from everybody in that area. Also being an empath, you'll feel pain. Like, you know, you don't have a knee injury. You'll feel pain in your knee. Being an empath, you'll also experience like knowing when people are lying. Like you become a human lie detector. Like there's no evidence that they're lying, but you're like, this fucker is lying. Like you don't have any proof, but you're like, something in you is like, they're fucking lying. I don't know what, but they're lying. Also a sign of being an empath is, I know a lot of people, when they talk about being an empath, they talk about having the mood of being sad, but those moods aren't just being sad. Sometimes you'll feel giddy. Sometimes you'll feel goofy. Sometimes you'll feel horny. Remember, we have like 1,000 emotions, and an empath actually picks up on those emotions. Like literally pick up on those emotions. So you might be at work and you'd be like, damn, why am I horny and I'm at work? That's because some pervert is probably doing something at work that they shouldn't be doing. But you know them by the signs that I just gave you, some of the signs. There are more signs, but those are just some of the signs. All right, so what other question is there? I'm so retarded. I read this so wrong. I thought that Leslie was saying, is crack whack? But I clearly need glasses. How can I get past the extra cold feeling when I connect with the other side? If you're feeling a cold feeling, shit. I don't feel cold feelings. That's just probably the way that your gift operates with you, because I get them both. I get hot, cold, indifferent. Shit depends on the spirit I connect to. It normally, for me, my indication that if it's cold, the spirit is not aware that it's dead. If it gets hot, there's a transition that the spirit is going through. Oh, somebody's back is killing them. Whose fucking back is killing them? Because mine is like on fire right now. Who the fuck is this?
They definitely can be.
All right. So who's the next question? How do I know I have gifts? Public school in the building tonight. What? Yes, public school is in the building tonight, every night. How do I connect with my ancestors? All right, so the best way to connect with your ancestor is, first of all, don't do a ancestor altar. Let me tell you that. That's the first mistake that people do, because they see people perpetuate that. In order to connect with your ancestors, you got to have an altar. You ain't ready for them types of problems, yo. So the best way to connect with your ancestors is you got to learn about your family history first, because not all ancestors are good for you. So the first step into connecting with your ancestors, learn about your family history. Know which ones are for you and which ones not. I would suggest getting a mediumship with someone who is a medium in order to learn who is around you as far as your family. And then second of all, I always call my ancestors who have the highest and greatest good for me, that have the mind of God, because ancestors can sabotage you. When people die, they die with the same ideologies, with the same belief systems that they had when they were living. So it is not always wise to call your ancestor. You might have thought that your grandma loved the shit out of you, but at the same time, your grandma probably was like, that bitch gets on my damn nerves, but she smiled in your face all the time. So as she is dead, she might not have the greatest intent for you when she's dead. Or even if she was a super Christian and you hear it is you asking for money and you know you need money, and she's like, baby, give it to Jesus. All she wants you to do. So all she's going to do is put you in situations to where only thing you can do is go to God, is to pray on your knees about it. And here it is, your rent is due and all types of shit is done. And you know you've done all you can and you need a fucking miracle. And your ancestor who was supposed to be helping you fucks that shit up. So I always ask for the ones who have the same mindset as I do, the ones who have my highest and greatest good, those who have understanding, those who have wisdom. And I remove all of those who think that what I am doing is evil or blah, 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 or whatever the hell it is that applies to that situation. But in order to connect with them, after you have called them forth, after you done got some research on your family, I suggest talking to them like they're your family that's alive. Sit down and have a conversation with them. Call them forth. I call my ancestors from the four corners of the earth, from the four corners of the earth. I call my ancestors from the past, the present, the future. I call you forth to me now, in my time, in my realm, and tell them I only want the ones who have your highest and greatest good for you. And then you just start talking. Introduce yourself. I am blah, blah, blah. I am something years old. Get to know your family member. Just talk to them. Tell them how your day went. Tell them how the last shit you took. Talk to them like you would talk to your family. If you cuss, cuss. If you like to joke around with your family, do that. Be you. But consistency is the key with your ancestors. So with spirits, most spirits are normally active, at their most active, about 9 o'clock till 6 o'clock in the morning. Between 9 and 6 are when spirits are at their most active. So pick a time between 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. and consistently every day send that vibration out that you're talking to them. They will start to respond to you if you do that. All right. It is 6 o'clock in the afternoon. It is 6 a.m. in the morning. And I want to talk to my ancestors. I am starting my day out. I need you to go and remove all obstacles, present me with as many prosperous opportunities as you can. I thank you. I appreciate you. Go your way, bring no harm to me and my loved ones. Let's see. Is there a connection between physical energy and your spirit? After being around certain people, I feel my energy drained and my spirit feels different, but I don't know if I'm just being dramatic. So that is, physical energy and spiritual energy are one and the same. If you feel like you're being drained when you're around other people, you definitely need to buy you a goddamn crystal to protect your body from being drained from spirits. You need to tell the crystal to remove any energies, especially if you're an empath. If you're an empath, you're like a fucking magnet. And just like a magnet, it takes a positive and a negative to come together. So if you the positive, you always are going to attract the negative, right? Because that's what an empath is. An empath is the positive charge. Narcissist or toxic person is the negative charge. So you being a magnet for toxic shit, you're always going to attract it, because that's how the fucking universal law works. That's how physics works. Your body is no different. You are a biofield in your body. You're actually a fucking magnet. Literally, you are a fucking magnet. The iron and copper in your body makes you a literal magnet. You are a walking, breathing, talking energy field. Literally, this is why you have electricity in your body. You are charged. If you know anything about how the fuck a magnet is created, we have all that shit in our body. We are a magnet. So if you are a positive magnet, you're always going to attract a negative magnet, because two positive magnets won't stick together. It takes the opposites to stick together. So if you're being drained, you need to have something to combat that negative energy that keeps trying to come to you, which is why we wear crystals, which is why we spray ourselves down with Florida water, which is why we do create protective bubbles and all that other shit. All right. Somebody is asking about astral traveling. What about astral traveling? Alice, what is it about astral traveling you want to know? Jamaica wants to know, what's the best way to gain clairvoyance? All right. Practice. Basically, practice. Learn your own energy first. Learn your own energy signature first. If you want to learn about how to develop clairvoyance, learn your own energy first. When you learn your energy first, you can distinctively tell the difference between other energies. The best way to learn your energy is this. Breathe in. Hold it for 4 seconds. So you're going to breathe in slowly for 7, hold it for 4, release it for 7. You're going to do that a couple of times. So breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold it for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release it for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're going to do that 3 or 4 times. The breathing actually clears your mind. That's the purpose of doing the breathing. So you're going to clear your mind by doing that. You're going to breathe in 7, hold it for 4, release it for 7. Do that 3 or 4 times. Then what you're going to do is you're going to rub your hands together. You're going to rub your hands together till not fast. You don't want to do this. You want to just a little slow. And then you're going to take your hands apart and bring them back together. Take them apart, bring them back together. Now, your hands should feel like a magnet. If you've ever held a magnet and you pulled it together, pushed it apart, pulled it together, pushed it apart, this is exactly what you're feeling, is your energy. This is how you can recognize your energy. If you can't do it again. Rub your hands again. Sometimes some people take longer. Sometimes some people don't. But if you put your hands apart, together. That's how you acknowledge like how you feel. You'll start to feel the pulse. You'll start to feel your heartbeat. You will start to feel like the pulse in your right here and in your top of your crown. And then you'll start to feel it in your chi and in your coochie and everywhere else. But once you learn your signature of what energy is yours, because that's kind of what a clairvoyance does, pick up on energy. Then you'll start to acknowledge when something else invades your energy, that there's another spirit around. So it just takes practice. That's all it does. It takes practice of acknowledging different energies. Okay, so A. Nicole says, how do you feel about horror movies that use real demon names? Movies be portals? I always get an eerie feeling. I just want to make sure that they are safe to watch because I like them. So are movies portals? Yes, they are. But remove the fear. Okay, which is stupid because it's a scary movie, so it's supposed to fucking scare you. Being scared and having fear are two different things. You can be scared and not open yourself up, but fear opens you up to shit that brings in low level energies. So if you're going to watch a movie, at least understand that nothing can hurt you, that you don't allow it to, because ghosts will fuck your shit up. Demons will fuck your shit up. Have protection around you. That's all you have to do is put some protection, a form of protection around you. I love sci-fi. I love scary movies. I love alien shit. I love mystical shit. I love all of that. But when I watch movies, shit, I don't know. I'm just not scared. Shit, I don't know how to answer that, Kay.
What's the question?
She wants to know, how do you feel about movies that use real demon names?
Oh, I mean, I do feel like they could be a porter. I did say that. I'm not a fan of scary movies, but if you are, you can always set up protection if you feel like they're going to come out. I think it's just a way for us. Any movie is always has a hidden agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you can always find the hidden meanings behind it. Just like, I know this is not a movie, but this is the first thing that comes to mind when they talk about ISIS, the terrorist ISIS. Like, ISIS is a fucking goddess, and y'all want to make it seem like it's a terror. So sometimes you really have to do your research with these things when people do put movies out, because it's only a way to kind of get you programmed to think in a certain way. So you shouldn't really be afraid because you do have dominion and power over all spiritual beings, even demons. So first of all, they have no power unless you give it to them. So keep watching them if you love them, and shit, just let them motherfuckers know not to come your way.
Right, because you have dominion. You have power. I said you have power and dominion.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, keep watching them if you like them, but just let them know to stay away, because they don't want to F with you. What are ways to enhance or develop your clairvoyance? Did you answer that question already?
I did.
I thought so.
I did.
A Nicole says, I have my altar in my closet, and my closet is connected to my bathroom with 2 big ass mirrors, and I always feel like something is always watching me. Do you have your closet door open to the bathroom? And you might have people in there, but more than likely they probably aren't watching.
You do have somebody watching. You got an angel who's watching your ass.
But not like to be, what I mean when I say watching, not to be scared. Like, you don't have to be afraid, because right. I see people in my peripheral, but I know who's here. Like, ain't no bullshit around this motherfucker. So don't be afraid, especially if you have your altar for protection and things like that. Yeah. They watching over you, but they're not watching you in a scary way. It shouldn't be a scary feeling. All the ones that know the history are dead. Know what history? What were we talking about? Maybe that was from something else.
Shit, I don't fucking know. I don't ever know.
I missed it. Here I go with it. I meant to take a nap and I didn't. Let's go back up. How do you open your third eye, and what happens when it's open?
Scary shit happens. I'm just kidding. No. No, scary shit does not happen when you open your third eye. There are multiple ways to open your third eye. So let me tell you, there's a difference between having an active third eye and an open third eye. Most people's third eye is active. Very rarely do people have a third eye open. If your third eye is open, you know that shit. Like, That's the purpose. That's the knowing, the gift of knowing. Like, you know that it's fucking open. Now you can have an active third eye, that you can have. But if you have to ask, well, is my third eye open? Then your third eye is not open. It's just active. If you have psychic, if there's a lot of psychics like me, I know my third eye is partially open because I can see it partially fucking open. It won't open all the fucking way. But I know that it's hyperactive. And most psychics, most clairvoyants have a hyperactive third eye. Does not mean that it's open. If your third eye is if your third eye is open, then you know that it's open because it's a knowing, like it's the all-seeing eye. That's why they call it the all-seeing eye, because it knows fucking everything. It is a literal feeling that you get.
That's why some people are always saying, don't open your third eye, don't open it, don't open it. And it's like, it's not even really that easy to open because of the food that we eat and things of that nature.
Right. And not to mention fear. Like, when you open your third eye, you're going to see every fucking thing, the good, the bad, the ugly. And this is why Hollywood has so many demons and scary shit, because they're programming you to get used to seeing this shit, because the shit is going to happen. You're going to see, and like how we see each other, how you see us, we're going to see angels. We're going to see fairies. We're going to see leprechauns. We're going to see the Anunnaki. We're going to see the giants. We're going to see all of these mythological creatures again. We're going to see these extraterrestrials, these other spiritual beings, and they physical level very soon, but they are kind of desensitizing us because we have not been around them for so long that it's fucking scary to us. So when it comes to you opening your third eye, when people say, don't do it, you're going to see demons. Yeah, duh, you're going to fucking see demons because you're seeing on the other side of the veil. It's every motherfucker walking around here. You're going to see a demon, you're going to see an angel, you're going to see a fairy, shit, you're going to see every fucking thing.
Yeah, and it's really going to be extremely thin next month. Like, it's going to just fucking fall. Like, so you guys have to get into a place where you're not walking in fear, because there's nothing to be afraid of. And I know that's easier said than done, but the only people that's walking in fear are them motherfucking religious people telling you to come to Jesus or die.
Right.
No, that's not it.
Right. But how you open your third eye is basically you got to decalcify your pineal gland. There's two ways. You can do it by force by taking DMT, or you can just process, like decalcify and allow it to just like happen. And that's detoxing your body, getting rid of all the fluoride, all the metals, all the aluminums, all the plastic, all the extra estrogens. Like, you literally got to clean your body out for your third eye to open. And then you got to get your fucking mind right too. Like, you can do all the fucking cleanses you want to, but if your mindset is not set on being open and you haven't removed fear, this is why in spirituality they encourage shadow work, mindset work, shadow work, healing, building your confidence, because that's what's going to help you be okay with opening your third eye. That's what's going to help you being okay with seeing these other creatures.
I don't know if you guys watched that movie. I think it's a Netflix movie with Will Smith and that other guy that looks kind of like an alien, but they were both cops, and that fairy was kind of being annoying. It was just flying around.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one movie you could watch. I don't know the name of it, but I'm like, oh, okay.
What is the name of that damn movie? I don't remember the name of that movie, but yeah, it's gonna be like that.
It's on Netflix, so you should be able to see it.
Right.
Or something.
But it's definitely going to be like that. How that movie is, how all that shit is walking around here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Was there any more questions?
I'm looking now.
Someone asked, do you use Oracle cards? What is a good deck? I don't use oracle cards. I don't like oracle cards. I only stick with the major and minor arcana because for me, my mind is all over the place. And oracle cards for me are too fucking open. And I need focus. I already get 1,001 things at one time. So you give me an oracle deck, I'm like, what do you want me to start with first? Because you gave me so much fucking information. For me, the major and minor arcana cards niche down the information that I need because spirit literally gives you everything. Spirit will tell you that person got a blue shirt on, the wall is green, they ate an apple this morning, they took a shit at 3:00 in the afternoon. Like you literally get everything. And it's like, I don't really need all that. I just need you to give me the things that could help them. So for me, I don't use oracle cards because it's too much for me. Like it's too much information. And it's too broad. For me, it's too fucking broad. I want to get to the fucking point. Give me the fucking point. So when it comes to oracle cards, I can't give you a good deck. I can tell you to go buy you a major and minor arcana because that shit, like that's how I teach people to use tarot cards is using the major and minor arcana because it's easier to learn. With oracle cards, you have to like that's just intuition, that's feeling, that's energy. Look, let's niche this shit down and get to the nitty-gritty. This is why I use major and minor arcana.
So Aquetta, you're asking about a spirit that came to your daughter in December and it made her depressed. You might want to just get some crystals, but you can definitely, I mean, that's one way of protecting her, but helping her understand that you know, some spirits come because they talk, they want to, because children can see them easier than some adults. And sometimes they just want to talk. And there's no telling exactly, if she tells you exactly what was said, you should be able to kind of, if you're not able to differentiate what was really going on, but because she's asking how can you tell from good or bad spirits.
So your feeling that you get,
right,
and your instinct will tell you. This is why you have an instinct. Your instinct will tell you good or bad. Listen to your instinct and combination of your intuition. Your instinct is designed to protect you. So you can be scared because some spirits scare the shit out of you because angels scare the shit out of you. But it's about when you think about the energy that you're pulling is what's the intent that you have for me? Because you might be scared.
And since she was in Aquetta, since she was a kid, I would have asked, you know, exactly what was said and how she felt and why she, you know, you ask her those questions. Those are questions you would have to ask just to kind of get more detail on who that spirit was and what they were around for, because you just never know. So, but because, you know, my son has said, oh, I had a bad dream about some, you know, some babies or something he was having, but I made sure like to spray his room down with, you know, some Florida water, put the crystals in there. You know, you have to, that's kind of how the route you have to take, and just sage the area, Palo Santo the area, the room or wherever she was. And, you know, that'll get rid of any entities that are not there for her highest and greatest good.
Right.
And only invite those in for her highest and greatest good.
Yeah. Jamaica Price. So you're asking, your friend has these outer body experiences where she's traveling mostly around her house, but she told me that she sees another girl trying to get in her body while she's out of her body. That kind of goes back to what I said. You guys have we have multiple spirits. She needs to really see what spirit it is first, because our past, our present, and our future interchangeably comes out of our body. Our past life selves interchangeably comes in and out. So when you astral travel, like when you don't have control of it, and then you have those moments of deja vu, that's because your spirit has gone out and experienced something. Like we have the ability to split ourselves into like billions and even trillions of our spirits not our soul, because our soul stays in our body, but our spirit, like literally can experience multiple things at one time. So it could be her past self from her past life, or her younger self, or her future self, because time is happening all at the same time, because time is non-existence. The past is happening now, the future is happening now, the present is happening now. So depending on who it is, and some people actually body jump. Like some people have the ability to body jump. She could just be experiencing somebody body jump her ass. And body jump is a living person. People have the gift, as a human being, have the gift to take one of their spirits and jump into another person's body. And some people do it without even knowing how the fuck to do it. Some people be experiencing other people's lives and be like, how the fuck did I get here? I didn't mean to get in somebody else's body. They just naturally do it. So she just needs to figure out, like, what is the purpose while she's walking around her own house? Hey, chick, what the fuck? Who are you? And ask fucking questions. Are you here to help me? Are you here to do something for me? Or do I need to banish your ass? Ask fucking questions.
Right.
DMT, wow, fuck. How the fuck do you say that?
It's a drug that helps you kind of hallucinate.
DMT is actually,
you have to look it up. That's a crazy name, but it helps you kind of hallucinate.
Right, your body naturally produces it.
You have to be careful with it, because that's a stage of what type of drug here. And we are not advocating for any drugs on here, so don't.
Right, it's a drug, but it's not a drug. So DMT is what your third eye, your pineal gland produces. So when it's not calcified, you produce what's called DMT and melatonin. And the combination of the two actually what helps your third eye open. But your skin, especially people who have melanin, people that have melanin naturally produce DMT. Like they produce it in their skin, you produce it in your third eye, but DMT is dicryptomethylamine, some shit like that. But it's called the spirit molecule. What they do is they abstract it from plants, because everything has DMT. They abstract it from plants, and it makes you, it's not really a hallucinate. It just makes you kind of go from one dimension to the next. It like pops your third eye open really quickly. But it's called the spirit molecule, dicryptomethyl something. I'm sure I'm saying the shit wrong. But it's a drug that you can probably get overseas freely. I know you can't get that shit in the United States, because I tried. I guess I'm gonna have to go overseas just to get the shit, because I want to try it. Allegedly. Is that something you can say not to get in legal trouble, allegedly? Because I don't know. I'm just throwing some shit out. I ain't an attorney, but I'm saying I might want to might try it.
Man, you use allegedly when you telling a story about somebody you really you wasn't there. So you have to say, well, I heard that Jada Pinkett and Will Smith was swingers, allegedly.
Well, shit, whatever word applies to that's gonna get my ass out of fucking legal trouble. Who the fuck is an attorney on this bitch? So I won't be getting in trouble and shit.
So Keitha says, did y'all feel you had to leave church to develop your gifts?
Fuck yes.
A separate personal decision? I'm gonna say for me, I mean, I had to leave the church because I couldn't separate the truth from the bullshit I was hearing. And I didn't want to get caught back into that space. I learned more about the Bible. I learned more about spirituality. I learned so much more once I left, because I was free to research. I was free to gaining an understanding. The development of the gifts just kind of came with the territory after the fact, but you already have those gifts. And usually what happens if you're in church is like, oh, you're a prophet, you're this. They'll call them different things to kind of make you feel important, I suppose. And then most people only feel like, oh, okay, well, only the prophet has those gifts. Fuck that shit. Everyone has those gifts. You can utilize them or you can choose not to. It's up to you. So don't let anyone ever tell you that, you can't do that. You got to go here. You got to go to the prophet. No, you don't. Because their
Right.
prophets fake and phony and don't know what the F they talking about. And it just behooves me that in church, that most people in church will call somebody a prophet and this, that, and the third, but then will say, don't go to a psychic. There's no fucking difference if you're truly a quote unquote prophet. I mean,
Right.
there's no difference. You're still connecting with spirit.
And actually, there is a difference. A prophet who's in church has a belief system that stops them from receiving and giving all of the fucking messages.
That too.
That is the
That's
difference.
true.
Because a psychic is going to give you everything. The person who's a preacher, who's in church, who's under religion is only going to give you the part that they feel and believe that will get your soul saved, because it's going to be all about the church and nothing about you.
Right, that's true.
But please understand that we both had our gifts since childhood. Like, we both have had our gifts since childhood, but Christianity has had a role in the suppression of them. We've
Definitely
always had our gifts, like always. Both of us have literally always had them. We've always had dreams. We've always had visions. But coming out of religion helped amp up what we had, because we were focused on developing them.
Mm-hmm. She said, what's going on with the spiritual veil? What's going on with it this year? Well, it's always been thinning, like we've, like Arsenio has been saying, that veil was put up to kind of block off the spiritual side of what we're about to experience. Like, it's blocked us from all of those things, the demons and and the great ones too, all different aspects of the spiritual world. And now that the veil is thinning, they're allowed to come back in. And most people will probably think, oh, that's Jesus coming back to save us. And Jesus is not saving anyone. God. But they're not here to do, it's not here to even do damage. If we go back, they were among us before. We just wasn't. We wasn't alive at the time. They've been here before. But you said there was a war of the gods or something that had happened. She has a better understanding of that story.
So in the beginning, the earth was all void. No, but for real. So when the earth started, before humans were created, they were humans are literally the baby creations of everything. In the beginning, there were all of these beings. God created all of these other beings besides us. There were other gods beside God. He was God has a creator. God has other beings, but he was just the strongest one out of all of them. But he also created other beings. And these beings were here on earth. They were also in other realms. Everything was already always interconnected with each other. These beings, these fairies, these principalities, these angels, these gods, all lived on earth. And then some shit happened where they all got in a big ass fight. Now, if you pay attention to in India, they talk about the War of Gods. In the Mayans, they talk about the War of Gods.
Hold that thought really quick. I wanted to kind of touch on something you just said, principalities. And if any of you guys understand about church, and as I always say, we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but principalities and spirit, that goes back to this story that she's saying. It tells you in the Bible that we wrestle, not necessarily us, but those are the things that we've wrestled with. So just imagine that with this story, and it should kind of click to you dang, okay. And that's how you begin to unravel the Bible the way that
it is.
That for better understanding.
Right. So at one point, so this is around the time of literally Noah. So there was a battle that happened. Not only did a battle happen, a flood happened. So the War of Gods happened prior to the flood, there are several evidence all over the world about a war of gods. Like you can go to South America, North America, Africa, to Asia. You can go everywhere. And around the same time period, they had linked already where everybody have written records of the war of gods. Everybody, every country, every continent has evidence of a war of the gods. Now, these are involved with everybody, the war of the gods and the war of people. And basically what happened was these gods were basically kind of taking over and destroying everything. So in order for the earth to be saved, they had to separate humanity from these gods. So an agreement came up. This is where the seals are. If you pay attention to fucking Revelations and they talk about seals being broken, these seals are created through contracts. And what happens is there's a timer, which is the basic, like, mundane way that I can fucking explain it because it's bigger than that. But what happens was the agreement was that all these creatures had to remove themselves. And as they removed themselves, the human race had to have a erasing of their memory. So it's almost like a reset button. So what happened was it was this war. After the war, they decided to cleanse everything. And the way they cleansed everything was a fucking flood. So that people who the people who were kind of causing the issues, the trouble, were kind of wiped out. And the memories of men were wiped out.
Also see that she said a flood. And in Bible, what did it say? God flooded the earth and blah, blah, blah. So this gives you kind of where that story came from.
Mm-hmm.
So you can kind of add 2 for 2. It's just, the Bible is full of it's a great storybook.
Right.
Story. And sometimes I like to think that a lot of things are really metaphysical. Like somebody said, it sounds like Greek mythology.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, everything is interconnected. So everyone's going to explain what they feel and saw at a point. It's just like, we all have the same story, but we're telling it different ways because we see them different ways.
Right. So what happened after this flood, they came up with the agreement because the flood did not destroy every fucking body. All right. It just wiped out who it needed to wipe out. There were people from all these other continents who were still alive. But what happened was, this is part of how Pangea, we know that Pangea was once one country. And then the war broke out. And then they had to separate all these fucking countries. This is prior to the earth being like separated by continents. So it used to be one, the war broke out, everything separated. This is where the flood comes in. It keeps everything separated. After that, the agreement was that all these creatures, the fairies, they had to have permission to come, first of all, because the understanding is that the human with a soul, not the human with a spirit, but the human, not mankind, but the human with a soul has dominion and power. The one who has the direct link to God's DNA, because this is his territory. This is why you have dominion and power. The only ones who were allowed to bring these other creatures were the ones who decided that, hey, look, we want them to stay with us. But they also have to hide in the shadow. So the agreement was they were going to put up a veil. And if you've ever saw the movie A Wrinkle in Time, the veil is just like that. Where they Tesseract or Tessel, whatever the fuck it's called, the veil is just like that. So what happens is a contract went up, magic was fucking done, magical spells were done. And if you know anything about real magic, magic comes with you can break it just as much as you can create it, you can break it. And when you create a spell, you're supposed to create a spell to undo it. And that's what they did. They created a spell that had a timer that after so long, this veil would come down and these other beings would be able to come back, and we were supposed to be able to try the shit again to bring peace. Maybe all the children of these men who had so much hatred and all the evil things that they were doing, let them die off, and then we come back and we try it with their descendants. So basically it's going to kind of be a seeing if we can come together. And then it's also prophesied that we can't fucking come together. So there's going to be what's called Armageddon. There's going to be another fucking war. This is why there are star seeds coming. This is why we're having star seed children. This is why we're having indigo children. This is why we're having all of these children that have all of these magical powers, because they understand that they got to come through in order to make sure that when these other creatures come back, mankind has its original power that it has. So we're going to have telekinesis. Basically, we're going to be like the fucking X-Men. Telekinesis, the psychic powers, all of these things are going to start happening. And you're going to start seeing these with your children, like from 2000 up until now. These children are the indigo children, the starseed children. There are other species of children that are being born, and they're going to be born with all of these magical gifts, these powerful gifts, and that's because they need to be ready for what the fuck is about to come.
Right.
But when it comes to the veil is set on a fucking timer. So it's like these seals break. These seals are the best example of what a seal is, let me see. I got a seal. I'm gonna show you what a seal is, because you probably see it all the time and you're like, what the fuck is that? Oh shit.
She's looking for that seal. Noah in the great flood. See, in the Bible, it tells you everybody died except for the people that were on the boat and the animals and blah, blah, blah. And that's really, I mean, that's not the case. Once again, it's that scare tactic. Like,
right.
You know,
so a seal. This is what a seal looks like. Do you see this? So you know how they burn the wax and then they impression it? So what happens is a seal looks like this. There are words of enchantment that is sealed in I don't know what material fucking is, but what happens is the words are printed on whatever form they did it. And once time comes, what happens is the seal breaks. When the seal breaks, the words are no longer any use. This is the seal of Raphael. As long as this is together, this will call Raphael. But when the seal is broken, I can no longer call Raphael. And the seal is no different from that. So when you break that seal, that's how the veil gets thinner and thinner. Like one layer comes off, the next layer comes off, the next layer comes off, because they had to keep casting spells over and over to make it thick enough to where no one could pass through. So once these things are broken, the veil is going to be completely gone and diminish, which means that these creatures, this is why the government knows they're going to plan a fake rapture. They know that the rapture is going to be all these fucking aliens telling people to come on, let's go see Jesus. But that's basically how the veil works. That's basically kind of how it all started. And it's going to end up with us being in contact with these other beings, and what the government is trying to do, because they love their fucking control. They love their money. They love all the shit that they have. So what they're doing is they're manipulating time. They're playing with time. Things are changing. If you don't know about the Mandela effect, I suggest you research it. But they're playing with time. They're playing with the weather. Things are going fast, and then they slow. Then things change up, and then they change back, because they love their power. They don't want to have to give up their fucking power, because they know once the seal is broken, they got to give up their power, because they know that we're going to know who we are, because that's part of the curse. That's part of the spell that was cast, that once the veil is broken, we will all know who we are. We will all know what we are in the flesh and in the spirit.
And a lot of people are going to be very distraught to find out that they're not melanated.
Right. Yes, honey. Yes.
A lot of melanated people are going to be distraught too, because they falling for that bullshit.
Mm-hmm. And not every melanated person has a soul too.
Right.
Mm. All right, whose question is next?
What's the last question? Because I got to put some kids to sleep. I don't know what's going on. I don't see any other ones. Hold on.
The best place to purchase Florida water, you can get Florida water from any Hispanic store or Botanica. Florida water, you can all you do is put your intent in the Florida water, or you can make Florida water yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a bad thing to come face to face with your doppelganger?
I've never heard anything about it, so I couldn't answer that. I don't know.
So when it comes to your doppelganger, everybody has a doppelganger. It depends on the intent of the doppelganger. I think it's a bad thing. Your doppelganger is here to replace your ass. So is it a bad thing? Yeah, I think so. All right, so that's it. All right, y'all. So we have been on here for 1 hour and 29 minutes. We will be back tomorrow to do readings, right? Are we going to do readings tomorrow?
Yeah, even though we're off our schedule.
Kate wants to stick to our schedule, y'all.
Leave it up to Arsenio. We'll be all over the place. Now, we're going to have to do readings 2 nights in a row to get back on our schedule.
So is our schedule tomorrow spiritual reading? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
All right.
But we're not. We're going to do readings.
I was going to say, we can do spiritual talk again, shit, just to get it right.
I mean, we can.
Okay, we'll do spiritual talk tomorrow.
With your questions, tomatoes, we'll be here.
Yeah, we'll do spiritual talk tomorrow.
And then we can get back on our regular scheduled program.
Yeah.
Oh, we can. Kamaya, we will. Spiritual talk tomorrow it is, guys. Come with your questions, and we will talk to you people tomorrow. Until then, have a good night. Don't forget to sleep with an amethyst under your pillow so you can have some lucid dreams. Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all.